Clix ruined his chance to be able to ever win an FNCS, and he is never going to place better than he just did. Welcome back to another episode of Fortnite Hot Takes, where I give you guys a platform to express your hot takes to me. This is the after grand finals edition. If you guys want to be featured in a future video of hot takes, I always ask for them on Twitter, so make sure to just follow me over there at ChiliKDog. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We're trying to hit 100K by the end of the year. Use code KDog in the Fortnite item shop to support me even more. Without further ado though, let's get straight into today's video. Clix and Vino will most likely never win an FNCS, not because they're unskillful or undeserving, but because no matter where he goes, he will continue to get griefed because of his fame and status. People hate seeing people finally succeed, especially when they deserve it so much. Now, there is honestly a lot to unpack here, and I agree with the point that you're saying, because they definitely are skillful enough and they definitely do deserve to win one, especially with how much of Clix's life he has dedicated to this game. But I don't think like a little bit of griefers would be the sole reason why they won. I have some other takes that I want to go over like later on in this video that kind of prove my point, but Clix and Vino just really weren't able to keep up the pace. They didn't have any games that they won, and they also didn't have any like insane pop-off games either. I think Peterbot and Pollo were just bound to win this tournament. They really only got griefed like one game, because even the game that they got landed on by them, they literally just wiped them and they got a free like 500 storm surge off of it as well. So the only game that they really got griefed by those people, I would say, is like the game that they broke their vending machine. But I mean, if you look at a team like Batman, Booga, and Rapid, a team that literally got second place, they didn't even load into one of their games. So I mean, if you want to say one game was going to be the difference between Clix and Vino winning FNCS and not, then there is like also multiple other teams that you can say that for. So I mean, for the part with the griefers, I kind of have to disagree with that one, and I also think I have to disagree with the part where you say that they'll never be able to win an FNCS. I feel like if Clix and Vino stick together for all of next year and it is duos again, I think the FNCS win will eventually come for them. Peterbot and Pollo won again without deserving it even a little bit. They went the entire tourney uncontested and didn't get griefed a single time. They didn't deal with the cheaters, and every other team is too scared to fight them. They were handed the win on a silver platter, and if they had to deal with even half of the stuff that Clix had to deal with, then they would have gotten below 10th place. Now, I mean, I think you kind of like answered your own question in this hot take where you said every other team is too scared to fight them. I think that kind of like goes along with like the whole point of nobody wants to land on them, because like they're literally so feared on the region that they just get the best POIs uncon every single season at this point, it feels like. And I think what really did that for them was the off spawn fight against Acorn and Cold last season, where they 3-0'd them on stream and they were just absolutely humiliating them. It really made a lot of people like just terrified to contest them, and you barely ever see Peterbot and Pollo get contested now. The part that's saying that they got the win undeserved, I just don't even really know how you could say that. You're acting like Peterbot and Pollo were the reason why Clix got griefed. Like, Peterbot and Pollo just literally played a better grands than Clix and Vino. I don't think you can say like anyone's undeserving of a win or something like that. I think this is more of just straight up like Peterbot and Pollo hate instead of like an actual hot take. I can't really agree with anything you say here. Even if Clix didn't get griefed, he still wouldn't have won. At the most, he would have gotten top 3. Acorn and Cold's comeback was way too good to overtake them once they had a single bad game, and Peterbot was bound to win after the cactus nerf. Now, this honestly might be like one of the best takes of the day, I feel like, because you have to look at how insane Cold and Acorn's comeback was. They were literally in like 15th after day 1, and then they finished all the way in 3rd place once they started to get uncon. If this team was uncon for both of the days, they 100% could have won grands. It probably would have won grands. And then another thing that you mentioned, like with the cactus nerf, which literally massively helped Peterbot and Pollo, because they basically had an infinite cactus and the medallion that they were just carrying around the map, and they could out heal storm surge with it. Like, the cards kind of did just fall into the right place for them. But I mean, at the same time, if you look at it, the cactus nerf also massively did help Clix and Vino as well, because this team was really going to struggle if the cactuses didn't get nerfed. Their whole game plan was not focused on the cactuses at all, and so we can't act like Epic is massively helping Peterbot and Pollo here and they're not helping Clix and Vino. I feel like these are definitely two of the teams that got helped the most. So I mean, I think I do have to agree with your hot take. Acorn and Cold's comeback was just way too crazy, and Peterbot and Pollo were by far the team that like had the most things go right for them as well. Batman, Booga, and Rapid win grand finals if they load into their 12th game. Now, this one to me is very interesting, because if you look at the leaderboard, it's Peterbot and Pollo on 839 points, then Batman, Booga on 760 points with only 11 games played. So that is a difference of around 80 points right there, which is very, very doable to be able to get in a grand finals lobby. This team was playing so consistent as well, especially on day 2. If you look at their match history, it's literally insane to look at. They got a 6 elimination 3rd, a 4 elimination 5th, a 3 elimination 3rd, an 11 elimination 2nd, and a 2 elimination 5th. Just an absolutely insane day 2 of grands for them. But this one is just another one that's just like so hard hard to really know. Like, yeah, they definitely could have won grands, but at the same time, they could not have won grands. Like, at the pace they were playing with, they were on pace to be able to win grands if like they kept up their whole match history on day 2. For this one, I want to know more of your guys' opinions in the comment section down below. Do you guys think if Batman, Booga, and Rapid played all 12 games that they would have won grand finals or not? Because this one is more of just like your opinion instead of like a straight up like fact. Update ruined the script. If the update didn't happen less than 24 hours before FNCS, Savage and Margo would have came up with a strategy from day 1 and quad to globals. Now, I mean, with how insane they looked like the last 2 weeks, I could see your take on this, but also a lot of the reason why they were doing so good was because of the cactuses in the first place. Like, Margo had some of the best DMR aim in the whole game, so him being able to just trade Storm Surge basically and then get the cactuses, that was pretty much their whole game plan. And then once they were in endgame, they just played so consistently together. So I mean, this team was definitely one of the teams that got screwed over the most by the cactus nerf, but you also had teams like Kanata and Cooper who were also massively affected by it, and they still were able to place 14th. So I mean, I think it was part of like strategy, but it was also part of like this team just was not able to get Surge at all after the cactus nerf. I think it would have been more difficult for them to be able to qualify for grand finals in the first place without something like the cactuses. So I mean, I think that was like a blessing for them the whole season, kind of turned into a curse at the end, but I still do think it was a very successful season for them, and I don't think they should get too down on themselves for not being able to qual LAN. Epic Games definitely did mess up the script. Poyo is a top 10 player on NA Central. His placements in FNCS are 3rd, 5th, 16th, 2nd, 1st, and 1st. Now, honestly, I have to disagree with this. I don't think Poyo is a top 10 player on NA Central. I think he is a top 5 player on NA Central. A lot of people have Peterbot in that like 1 to 3 spot, or even like 1 to 2 spot. I think if you're going to have Peterbot that high, then you have to put Poyo as well in that top 5 spot also. Like, literally just from the accomplishments that you listed in FNCS that didn't include any of the cash cups that they dominated and won together as well, he is definitely a top 5 player if we're just talking about strictly NA Central. Acorn and Cold will top 3 LAN due to the fact that they do well even when they're conned, and teams that were unconned could be conned like Re and Ritual and Kanata and Cooper. Now, the first part I have to completely agree with. I said in my grand finals recap video that I feel like the team that is most likely to top 3 LAN from NA is going to be Acorn and Cold. This team performs well literally no matter what the circumstances are, and they've already proven to be very good LAN players. Cold placed absolutely insane with Scented a while ago, and then even with Acorn they played pretty decently as well at LAN. This team has a current debate to be a top 3, maybe even a top 2 team in the whole world. I honestly just can't wait for the LAN event to see exactly where all these teams are going to place. All right, the last one we got is that either Miro or Tayson will retire from Fortnite either this season or next season, since there is going to be no FNCS till next year, and they might stop grinding since they both didn't qual. Since Booga is the only one who qualified for LAN, he can cement himself as the GOAT. Now, there's also a lot to unpack here, starting off with the fact that Tayson and Miro could both retire. These are both real possibilities, as Miro has literally already retired like 100 times in the past, and even Tayson said he's gonna go back to EU and like think about his career for a little bit and then decide to go from there. So I mean, as much of a crazy thing as it would be for both of these two players to retire, it is a real possibility at this point, and I honestly have to say I wouldn't be too surprised if both of them retired before the end of this year. For the part about Booga cementing his legacy as being the GOAT, if he's able to place like top 10, maybe even a top 5 at the LAN event, and then also like consistently place in FNCS, it really just depends on when he ends up retiring as well. Like, if after this LAN, if he places like 30th and then he just calls it quits there and all 3 of them call it quits, do we just give the GOAT title to Booga because he was like the only one able to make LAN? But I feel like if Booga competes next season and he's able to pull off like a couple more top 5s and even qualify for next year's globals, then you can like cement him as the undisputed GOAT. But as of right now, it's just a little bit too hard to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, if you want to leave your hot takes, follow me on my Twitter at ChiliKDog. YouTube says you'll enjoy one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We're trying to hit 100K by the end of the year. Use code KDog in the Fortnite item shop if you want to support me even more. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.